Greeting Algo artisans. What's up? Monday, 8:30 a.m. EST. The show has started. Let's go ahead and take a brief look at the economic calendar to see what's happening this week in the markets, and that way we can help to navigate the markets. And basically, we're going to take a look at when we don't want to trade, right? So that's kind of that's the trick. Now, when I say we, I mean me. You're going to do your own thing. You're going to do your own research, make your own decisions. But for me personally, if I know that there is news coming out, right? If I know that there's major economic data coming out, I tend not to trade during that time. Why is that? Well, mostly because that economic data is, some would say the banks use it as an excuse to push price around and really, really mess things up. Others would say price just goes crazy naturally. Well, whatever the case is, it's a little bit hard to predict which way price is going to go, and all of my trading is based on predictable outcomes. And I say predictable as in relatively predictable, right? We never know exactly what's going to happen, but we do have a probabilistic model, right? That's what I've built. And so when looking at price action, when I see certain things happen on the screen, certain things happen with the algos, with the indicators, then I know to a certain degree of probability that it's going to happen. And I can base a trade model on that. And when you have something like a news event that gets thrown in there, that probabilistic model gets thrown out and it becomes a little bit more gambly. Good morning, Daniel. And therefore, I don't trade. It's just how it goes. Now, there are ways to take advantage of the news, and I have worked on that. It's something that I've kind of worked on the side. It's not something I'm terribly interested in, but there is always that chance where if you know news is coming and you can go back through time and you can test your theory on how to trade it and you can have a repeatable result, then maybe it's worth giving it a shot, right? So I'm not there yet. It's not my main thing. So today, not much happening. We're looking at all of the different countries' sovereign currency news, and there's not anything really happening. You have CPI coming out for the Germans overnight, and we don't even know when that's going to be. It's an all-day event, so trading the euro is going to be dicey starting at 2 a.m. EST. It says all day, right, for the CPI. Now, Germany is the economic powerhouse of Europe. It's where the ECB is, essentially. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I was going to say Brussels. No, that's where the EU, I believe, is headquartered. But the ECB is in Germany. And so a lot of what's going on with the German economy, which is they're the manufacturing powerhouse in Europe, whatever happens there is going to be very important. So the CPI could throw the euro off in two ways that I might not understand. So when trading anything involved in Europe, especially the euro itself, I probably will stay away from that on Tuesday. And now we do have some data coming out for the US at 10 a.m. EST. Well, actually, let's fix that. We're not in the right time here. Got to always check our time. Okay. 10 a.m. EST. We got the consumer confidence and JOLTS job opening. So a little bit of employment data, a little bit of other data coming out at 10 a.m. EST, and that for the US dollar could throw things off. And that actually could, Lisa Gray, I do not know what you're talking about, Lisa. That could really throw things off as well. So if you trade the dollar and it's roughly, what is that going to be? A half hour after the market open on Tuesday, could see some wild things happen. And that could go across the stock market, especially anything traded against the dollar, stocks, whatever, you name it. That can really change the price of things. So I'd be kind of careful around that time. Aussie news coming out, CPI, and that's going to be pretty substantial effect, quite possibly on the Aussie dollar or anything traded against it. Happened at 9:30 p.m. EST. You have JPY. The entirety of Tuesday, the Japanese yen is going to be like, I wouldn't trade that, because just kind of like with the euro and their CPI data, they don't really say what time they're going to talk about it. It's just going to be all day long. They're going to talk about it. So you're kind of trading, there's landmines trading that one on Tuesday. Wednesday, you got more CPI. This one here, core CPI flash, that's for the euro, and that is at 5 a.m. EST. And then you have 8:15 and 8:30. some data for the U.S. and Canada coming out. Canada's GDP, employment data for the U.S. I mean, it's this week actually has a lot of data. The great thing about it is that once that data is released, the markets can be pretty volatile. Good morning, Tickles. So especially Wednesday, I might not trade at all, at least until about 2 p.m. EST, which is getting pretty close to market close because FOMC comes out, right? So this is the big week where Chairman Powell comes out, talks about the federal funds rate, FOMC statement, and there's a really good chance that markets are just going to slow down prior to that, right? So it might not be a lot of volatility aside from these economic data announcements. In a way, it's kind of good that they're all happening at the same time. That way they can just get it out of the way. And this week might not be that great for at least currency trading until after all of that. Thursday, the Brits are doing their thing. You have all of their monetary policy, FOMC, bank rate, that's coming out at 7 a.m. EST. And then you do have some unemployment data that comes out every week, about an hour after market open, the New York Open in the US. You have some manufacturing data coming out at about 10 a.m. EST. Swiss CPI Friday. So Thursday and Friday might actually be pretty decent days to trade after 10 a.m. and then Friday after 8:30 a.m. EST. We might be able to see some pretty good data coming out. And I just, I get all of a sudden this craving for like bananas. I don't know why. Why is that? I don't know, bananas. This whole chat just smells like bananas right now.
That would be me, my friend. The monkey man of mayhem has entered the chat.
Nice. What's up, Ming?
Good to be back, guys. I apologize for the too lengthy off stage. I mean, what happened was on vacation for a week, came back, and I literally came into a melee. It was an absolute shitstorm, to say the least, and just running around the entire week, putting out fires. And this is one of the things I dislike about going on vacation is like you don't know what you're coming back into. So you've always got to brace yourself. Things could be broken, things could not be taken care of, things are taken care of that you don't even know of. It's just insanity. But I'm glad that is behind me, and I'm back here with the family over at Algo Factory Tech, the only place in the world where you not only learn how to trade, folks, because you can do that on YouTube. Who the hell cares? We teach you not only how to trade, but we teach you how to build the algorithms that trade on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can have a life. You can have a life. What do we sell? People think we sell trading courses. No, we sell freedom. We sell flexibility. We sell options and opportunities. That's what we're selling you. Okay, we're showing you the ways on how to do it. And we don't have, a weekly subscription that you got to spend like $300 a month, just trying to be on part of what the heck we're doing. No. For less than $1.66 a day, which basically covers the cost of you sitting on the server and some expenses here and there. For $1.66 a day, you get to be part of the most prolific trading group on God's green earth. So I just want to drop that real quick, Cowboy.
Dude, people actually charge like hundreds of dollars a month for our kind of service. I mean, we're,
200 to 300 is the average.
Yeah, well, yeah, dude. And we started it this way because we wanted to kind of give the early people a chance to get in, and we wanted to reward loyalty. Sure. And that's not good. We're going to hike the price. We've been talking about it. And those of you who come in at this price get to keep that price grandfathered in as long as you get in while that price is the case. We're going to raise it. We're going to raise it. We're going to raise it again. And, we've been around for about a year now, and it's that price hike is coming. So if you guys want to get in 50, get in, because it's going to go up. It could, we're looking at a possible hike to $300. So that's that. Quick look at the Bitcoin chart before we get into the private live lab. All right. Quick look. Now I'm going to give a clue here. I'm going to give you what I think is going to be a good trade. So just a little bit of the action that you can get. That we do this in the private live lab all day long. And again, this is not investment advice. You got to do your own research, right? So if you take a look at this move from here to here, if you take a look at the screen, price made a strong move up. Okay. Now I could, I'll just abbreviate it. I'll put it right here. The strong impulse up. We'll just do pure impulse right now. And if we look at the impulse and we attach a Fibonacci tool, which I already have done, right? So I'll redo it so everybody can see what I'm doing. We'll start at the beginning of the impulse and go to the end of the impulse. and we'll keep it just at the pure impulse because those targets are more conservative than the actual full move. Okay, and I know some of this is going to be Greek to you, so don't worry about that. What I'm going to do is treat this as a consolidation breakout trade, and you got what's built is a pretty clear range has built over the past, what is this, going back to yesterday. This is on the 30-minute chart, and I eyed this last night. This is something I was up until about 2 hours ago. I didn't really sleep last night. And so basically, you're looking at when this breaks out, and again, there's a formula for that. So you don't want to just do it willy-nilly. But when this price breaks out, when this chart goes, the trade I'm looking at is going to look like this. Now that's a 3-to-1. It's going to look basically like this. I might adjust the stop loss a little bit. That's a 2-to-1 right there. That's beautiful. That means that I can risk $1,000 to make 2. I can risk $100 to make 200. I can risk $500 to make 1,000, so on and so forth. As long as the metrics line up, as soon as this breaks out, it's not a bad little trade right there. So some people are convinced that it's going to go all the way to the top of the consolidation here. Because remember, price has been in this big, long consolidation. Now, there are some other schools of thought. The Guerilla and I have been discussing in the background and in the foreground to the private group when we think Bitcoin is going to reapproach its all-time highs. But I did a whole video yesterday that talks about that and talks about what Trump said in his speech. And what more importantly than what Trump said is how the market reacted. And that's what's key. It's more about how the market reacted rather than what Trump said and what the sentiment was of the audience. Because we got one of our Algo Factory members actually was there all 3 days and include us in last night as to what the sentiment was. But how price reacted is really important. And we're going to cover that. I covered it. You can for free. Just watch the Trump video that I put out on YouTube yesterday. Otherwise, we're going to talk a little bit more about it, and we're going to get into some other trades in the private live lab right now. V the Guerilla, can you get us out of here? V, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. Listen, guys, don't sit on the sidelines wondering if this is for you. Join us in becoming part of the most prolific trading group. Listen, we don't teach you not just how to trade, but we also teach you how to build the trading algorithms that trade on your behalf. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That being said, Cowboy, let's get into it.
Join us or die.